everybody, and welcome back to my Roblox how-to series on everything that you need to know about how to make Roblox games. So, it's been a while since I made one of these, but today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about bindable events, which will build off of last episode, which we talked about remote events in. So, first of all, let's talk about what the heck is a bindable event. Well, a bindable event, it's similar to what a remote event does, and it's like it'll send out a signal, and then a script will pick it up, and it'll do something with it. But the difference between a remote event and a bindable event is that the remote event goes from client to server or server to client, but a bindable event only goes from client to client or server to server. So let me show you an example of this. So let's go into replicated storage here. We can get rid of the stuff that we did last episode. We won't need it. So in replicated storage, hit plus, and then search a bindable event. It'll look like a remote event just without the little box next to it. And it'll just be called event. So now we have this. Now let's figure out what are we gonna do with this event. Well, what we're going to do with it is we're going to make it so that when a player steps over an object, like let's just say this part here, it's going to summon or spawn in a ton of cubes that fall from the sky. So, let's do this, and let's name this Summon Cubes. And we can actually put our bindable event inside of summon cubes because we don't need replicated storage. We used it last time for remote events because it was the bridge between the client and the server, but since we're just dealing with server to server, we don't need to put in replicated storage, but you can if you want to. Let's name this event spawn, and let's add in a script. So first of all, let's reference our part. Local part equals script.parent. Capitalize that. And then let's do part.touched::connect function. Oops. There we go. So when our part gets touched by, let's just say, a player, then it'll connect it to this function. And we have to put a parameter here, part, for whatever is touched, because if you have a function which requires a parameter, like a touched event, then that bindable event has to fire with the parameter, or else it won't work. So let's just put part here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to reference our bindable event. So let's create another variable up here. Local event equals part.spawn. So then we can do event::fire. Not fire client or fire server, it's just fire. And then we have to put part here. And then what we can do is we can insert another script into here. Let's name our scripts so it's easier to understand things. Fire, or let's just do touch, and then this will be summon. So then in here, what we can do is we can reference our part again, script.parent, and then we can reference the event. I can just copy and paste this over actually, like that. And then what we can do is event.event. And it looks kind of confusing. If you want to, we can rename this to spawn event so it doesn't look as weird. And I'll even do that for over here. So spawn event.event, which functions just like on server event would or on client event would. Except it's just no server or client differentiation. It's just event. and then we're going to connect that to a function as well. And we'll put in the parameter that we got here, which is part. Oops, I forgot to change that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to summon in a ton of cubes. So I'm going to create another part up in the sky, which will be our reference point for where we want to summon these parts from. So I'll put it all the way up here, and I'll even put it inside of summon cubes, just for the sake of like cleanliness in the workspace. And then we can change some of its properties, like making it transparent. We can turn its collision off as well. So our parts will start coming out of nowhere, but they'll really be coming from right there. So let's go into summon, and let's reference our part. Local, I'll do reference part equals part dot part. I'm just realizing how bad I'm naming these things. Let's just name this what it's called in the workspace, summon cubes, and then change it here. And there we go. Okay. So now let's do this. We'll make a new instance. So local new cube equals instance dot new part. We'll do new cube dot parent equals, just do workspace, and then new cube dot size, we'll make it a 10 by 10 with vector3 dot new, and then new cube dot position, we'll set it to the parts position right here. So equals reference part dot position. And we want to do this a lot of times, so we're not just gonna copy and paste this, because then that would just be very cluttered and unnecessary. So let's just do something like this. While I is greater than 30, let's just say 30, do. And then we'll put all this inside of here. And let's create a variable for I, and we'll make I 100, and we'll change this as well to just 1. So now what we can do is I minus equals 1 at the end of this, so it'll run this 100 times, so it'll summon 100 cubes. And we can even have a wait statement here, so it doesn't do them all at once. It'll just do it rapidly. So if we hit play here, things should all work now. We've got error messages and a lot of cubes. So the error messages, don't worry about these. These were related to last time. I didn't remove the scripts from last time, so things kind of got weird. And also, I think that the part touched the base plate, and then it summoned all those cubes, which is really bad. And also, what we want to do to make sure that the game doesn't crash is we need to probably just destroy the script after it's done doing all this. Hey, so editor me here, don't do that. Script : destroy is not going to do you any good. What we need to do instead is create another bindable event inside of summon cubes, and this will be, we'll call this finished process, and we need to have this script right here wait until the process is done in this script are complete before it'll allow another touched event to go through. So let's get rid of script : destroy. And what we're going to do is after this, we're going to do... Actually, let's create another variable up here first before we do anything. Finished process equals summon cubes dot finished process. And then we'll fire finished process : fire. And then we can go into here and we can make a variable for that as well. So up here, finished process, copy and paste that, and then finished process dot event : connect function. And what we're gonna do is make it so that we have a true or false statement, which is like which will act like a cooldown. So let's create that variable. Local cooldown equals false. So when this runs, it'll check to see if the cooldown is false. So if cooldown equals false, then we'll run this. And when we do that, we'll set cooldown to true. And then right here, finished process will set cooldown to be false again. So we do that, and there we go. Now it has a true cooldown system, and it won't crash our game. Alright, back to the rest of the video. Now, if we hit play, our game won't be bombarded with cubes. Alright, there we go. Yeah. And now, if we hop onto it, all these cubes come crashing down and we go flying. It's a lot of cubes. So, yeah, that's basically Bindable Events. It's not the greatest real-world example because this could all just be done in one script, but it's just a way to demonstrate how you can bounce between two different server scripts, or you can even adapt this to work with two different client scripts. So, yeah, that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching, and before I finish this video, I've put up a poll on the community section of my channel where I talk about me getting into the Minecraft modding space. I'll briefly explain it here. Basically, I've been getting into the Minecraft modding space, and I've been wanting to try and create some videos around it. Maybe not tutorial-based, but more just showcases of mods that I create, or kind of devlog type stuff, like what I'm doing with the Valley game that I'm creating on Roblox right now. And the question is whether I should keep all the videos on one channel, which is this channel, or if I should create a second channel for the Minecraft modding stuff. And then maybe I can just rename this channel to Mr. Matthew Does Scripting, and then the other one, Mr. Matthew Does Modding. Something like that. So, go vote. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.